Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to include over 8 new characters in this story that will be used in order to evolve the characters of Kylo Ren, Rey, and a whole lot more by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of people are really looking forward to, including myself, is of course the new villain slash new foe that is actually being called the Dark Acolyte. Now, the reason as to why I'm really excited about this is because for the longest time, I think that a lot of you guys will agree with me, is that I've really wanted to have a proper villain that's actually fully embraced with the dark side of the Force in the sequel trilogy. Now, mind you, that's exactly what Kylo Ren is going to be like in the first and second act of the film. However, as we roll into the third act, give or take the last 50 minutes of the movie, is when Kylo Ren becomes conflicted once again, which is when the new villain becomes a thing. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for one of the moments in Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of the new villain called the Dark Acolyte, where it said that he is wielding an ignited crimson lightsaber, walking casually to both Kylo Ren and Rey, while they are down on the ground from a previous attack. It's described that as the new villain is walking closer, he force pulls Kylo into his hand, where he is now holding him by the neck. It's described that the villain reveals that he has been watching over Ben Solo's life for decades, waiting for the right moment to confront who is now Kylo Ren. It's described that this villain has been watching over the Skywalker family since the birth of Anakin Skywalker, where it said that Kylo Ren is described to be the perfect vessel. It's said to be a moment in which the villain is trying to turn Kylo Ren down the dark path even more, in order for the villain to benefit off of Kylo's power, in some way, shape, or form. It's described that the new villain will use a power that has never seen before in the Skywalker saga or any Star Wars film to date, that will reshape the canon and lore as we know it. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this, because obviously this is very intriguing, because this basically tells us that this villain has been around for a very, very long time. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the one thing that really stands out to me the most is how this villain is actually viewing Kylo Ren as the perfect vessel. So what in the world does that mean? Does that mean that this character is going to somehow take over the body of Kylo Ren? Now, it does somewhat make sense, because we do know that the Spirit of Sidious is going to be a role in this movie. That is actually going to be a thing, and that the Spirit of Sidious is actually going to be affiliated with the Dark Acolyte at a certain point in time in this movie. So, with that being said, it's extremely possible here that this is actually the moment in which we have the Dark Acolyte being able to use the essence transfer technique through the body of Kylo Ren in order to have a much younger body. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when we think about Episode 9, we've never seen anything like this before in the sequel trilogy, and J.J. Abrams, this really seems like something that J.J. Abrams would do anyway. If you guys have watched Westworld, I won't give away any spoilers, but there are things just like this, and just as wild as this, that are seen in the projects, of course, that J.J. Abrams has worked on. So, the one other piece that really does get me is how he has actually been watching over Ben Solo's life ever since he was born. Now, again, this once again sounds like Supreme Leader Snoke and or Emperor Palpatine. Now, if you guys read the novelization of The Force Awakens, you do in fact learn that Snoke actually was watching over Ben Solo ever since he was a child. Ever since he was actually an unborn child, right? Ever since he was within Leia's womb. He's been watching over him forever. So, the fact that everything is starting to connect here, how this character has actually been watching over the entire Skywalker family, ranging all the way from Anakin to Luke and Leia, to of course now Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, and how he views Kylo Ren as the perfect vessel and is trying to turn him down the dark path even more in order to benefit off of Kylo Ren's power. So that's another thing. In order for this villain to benefit off of Kylo Ren's power, is that Kylo Ren has to be fully embraced with the dark side of the Force. So I don't know about you guys, but this most definitely ties directly into the leaks that we heard about a couple of weeks ago, that the Spirit of Sidious would have something to do with invading the body of Kylo Ren at a certain point in time in this film, where Kylo was able to reject it. So that's a very interesting point about Episode 9, is that they're really trying to do some crazy and magical things in this movie that one would never expect to see on the big screen. And you can only imagine as to why they're keeping Matt Smith's character a big secret. We haven't seen Matt Smith in any kind of promotional material or anybody talking about him like J.J. Abrams or Kathleen Kennedy in the form of interviews and stuff around those lines. So without a doubt, guys, I'm very excited to see exactly how this new villain is going to be utilized, how the Dark Acolyte is going to be promoted in this movie, or for this movie, I should say. If you guys want my honest opinion here, they are not going to show this villain at all until the release of Episode 9. You're not going to see him in any of the posters, or the promotional stills, or the teaser trailers of the trailers, the BTS reels, the TV spots. I don't even believe that we're going to get one little glance at the new villain in Episode 9. Now sure, we might get a little tease, of his voice, here and there. That's about it. As far as visuals go, I highly doubt that we're going to see any of him until the release of this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.